Welcome to Mock the Mock, where I take a look at someone else's mock draft and I mock it, giving my views, thoughts, and opinions. Got a great one for you today. We're going to be traveling over to NFL.com, taking a look at one of the other GOATs in the industry, being Daniel Jeremiah and his mock draft. So without further ado, let's see what DJ got for us. As the Tennessee Titans, first team on the clock, and with the first overall pick, they're going to be taking Abdul Carter, not a quarterback. Edge out of Penn State. So let's read this one. My ears perked up when the Tennessee Titans president of football operations, Chad Brinker, said the team won't pass on a generational talent with the first pick. To me, Carter is the best player in the draft and he plays at a premium position. I could see Tennessee looking to add competition for Will Levis in the free agent market or later on in the draft. So I don't disagree necessarily with this this opinion, I suppose. I do think, hey, you're up here, take the swing at quarterback. But again, a lot of people don't love the quarterback class. I don't blame them. I know that the betting odds favorite currently is Cam Ward, with the second not being Shedeur Sanders, but Travis Hunter. So that could also be the case here, because the Titans, they could use another corner. They really could, especially if that corner is going to maybe be playing wide receiver. They desperately need wide receiver. I don't think that's out of the cards either, but I like the idea of potentially this pick not being quarterback. Let's see how this sets up the rest of the draft. I imagine we're going to see the Titan or the Giants and the Raiders then take quarterbacks. So with the second overall pick, the Cleveland Browns do go with Travis Hunter, wide receiver / corner, out of Colorado. This one's a little more cloudy. I mean, I think you're adding a really good wide receiver to the core here, and some people are like, oh, I don't see him being a potentially elite wide receiver. And I think he could. Like, the guy's got the ball skills to do it. He's a great athlete. Golly, that would be so fun at corner. Greg Newsome, I believe, is a free agent after next season. So that could definitely be something you could also consider. Quarterbacks, of course, on the table, but you have to feel good about one of the quarterbacks in this class to do it. The New York Giants at pick 3, they're going to take their quarterback in Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. So this is the guy I would swing the bat on, just because I think he's a more toolsy prospect. Get used to hearing that. But he's a more toolsy prospect than Shedeur Sanders. He's got the bigger arm. He's got better mobility. Yeah, I think you're just working with a little bit more there. You get a higher ceiling, while Shedeur, you could probably say, has got a safer floor. I think with Brian Daboll, Joe Shane, this is likely their last season if things really just continue to go under, and you're probably going to throw a Hail Mary and hope you could find a franchise quarterback. New England Patriots, they're going to go with Will Campbell, tackle out of LSU. Let's read this one real quick. The Patriots must help Drake May on the offensive line. I see Campbell as a safe, steady player who is still improving, which, yeah, you could probably make an argument he's probably one of the safer offensive linemen in this class to take, whether that happens to be at guard or at tackle. The Patriots kind of need both. You just need offensive line talent, offensive line help. So, like, I think Tetairoa McMillan is also an option here. You could sell me on Will Johnson. You could sell me on Mason Graham. You really, as the Patriots, you just look at that roster and you're like, yeah, you probably just kind of take whoever the best player is on your board at this juncture. For me, that would have been Will Campbell, but I could see with the massive need on the offensive line why you take a swing there. But before we get to pick 5, we got to give a shout out to our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. If you sign up and use the promo code Broshmo, they will match your first deposit up to $1,000. Guys, we got the big game coming up. If you want to get on a little pick'ems action, that's right, pick in what player stats you think will hit. You could do that at Underdog Fantasy. It's not just football. They got basketball. That's in season, I hear. I don't know. Not a big basketball guy. What can I say? It's a football channel. I don't even follow college football or college basketball until they get to the conference champion, like conference tourney. That's when I'm like, okay, let's see who's good. But You could get in on all that and more. Just download Underdog Fantasy. Sign up using the promo code Broshmo. They match that first deposit up to $1,000. They have promos each and every day. But as always, play responsibly and play within your means. Pick 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. They're going to go with Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan. This is a popular pick to the Jags. Jags new head coach, Liam Cohen. I kind of wonder if Tetairoa McMillan might be in the cards here. Like, think about this one. They tried to move on, or at least they tried to move Christian Kirk. That didn't happen. Maybe they do it in the offseason. Gabe Davis, he's there, but like, he's just... I didn't like the signing at the time. I thought it was very mid. So maybe you're looking for another wide receiver next to Brian Thomas. Hey, Tetairoa McMillan, he could be a pseudo Mike Evans type. Not saying he is Mike Evans, but for Liam Cohen, that would probably be the role in the offense. But nonetheless, Mason Graham's a phenomenal pick. Guy that I have a top 5 grade on. So cool with me. Let's just go ahead and get to the Shedeur Sanders pick, as he is going to the Las Vegas Raiders. Again, Titans, Giants, Raiders, Browns. Those are all teams that are probably going to be at least taking a gander, taking a look at this quarterback class. Whether they take it out of the first round, we'll find out. You get, I think, a player with a very high floor in Shedeur Sanders. You get him in Las Vegas, big market. I'm sure Daddy Dion's going to be very happy. I'm sure Coach Prime is going to be ecstatic. Pete Carroll, he gets his franchise quarterback at the ripe age of how old is Pete Carroll? Hold on, I know he's in his 70s, but I don't recall. Pete Carroll, that was just such an interesting signing. 73, golly gee. Yeah, he's up there in dog years, man. He's up there in dog years. Pick 7. What? The New York Jets take Tyler Warren, tight end out of Penn State. They should have. Okay, that's not fair. I was going to say they should have took a tight end last year in Brock Bowers, but Olu Fashanu was actually pretty good down the stretch. You kind of knew Morgan Moses, Tyron Smith, those were stopgap options. That was fine. That's fine. But here at 7 I wouldn't put Tyler. I love Tyler Warren. I wouldn't put him on the level of a Brock Bowers. I just won't. So here at 7 feels kind of rich. If I'm the Jets, kind of just want to take the best prospect on the board. That's guys like Tetairoa McMillan. Kind of depends on what Aaron Glenn wants to do with Aaron, like what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Will Johnson, I think, is good to pair up there with Sauce because you got DJ Reed as a free agent. So those are kind of my top 2 options there. Carolina Panthers going to take Tetairoa McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. Gets Bryce Young some more help. He looked pretty darn good down the stretch there. His like final 8 or 9 games of the season looked pretty solid. And you want to help out the franchise quarterback. Surround him with more talent. The offensive line's already there intact. Outside of center, you could probably do something with. Get more playmakers. You'll get Tetairoa McMillan. You got Xavier Legette. You got Jalen Coker. I'm not sure what Thielen's contract. I don't think Thielen's a free agent. But yeah, just get him a plethora of wide receivers. I don't mind it. You like the NFL draft. Matter of fact, you love the NFL draft, which means you're going to love my draft guide. If you want to know every player your team drafts or even signs as an undrafted free agent, then this is for you. My draft guide updates every day, and you'll be able to see those updates in real time as I add new evals and player backgrounds. It'll have analytics from this year and last year. It'll have the pro day and combine numbers. It'll even have my notes from the senior and Shrine Bowl. It's a one-time purchase of $30 via PayPal, Venmo, or the Cash App. You can check out the pinned comment or the description if you want to follow those links. And when you do purchase it, please be sure to include your email because it is a Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to require your email. Don't make me hunt it down because I will hunt you down. I will find you and I'll make sure you get your money's worth. Anywho, thanks for supporting the channel. At pick 9, the New Orleans Saints take Mikael Williams, edge out of Georgia. He's going to test out really well. He's got really good, I'm going to say it, tools, great length, good explosiveness. He was someone whose pass rush win rate you got to kind of look at with a little bit of context, because he was someone who worked both inside and outside, but also at the same time mainly played outside this year, but was hampered by a high ankle sprain early in the season. So it's like he's someone with a lot of potential, but the production as of right now, I don't think warrants a top 10 selection. Could be wrong. This kind of feels like more of like, oh, Dennis Allen would love a guy like this. He's been looking for someone who is built extremely well, has got really good tools to come in there and play edge next to Carl Granderson the last few years. Chicago Bears take Tyler Booker, guard out of Alabama. This feels very rich. Well, for one, I'm never going to be the guy that's a fan of taking a guard in the top 10. That's just not who I am. I like Tyler Booker quite a bit, but this does feel quite a bit rich. I get it. The Bears desperately need guard help. I feel like you're kind of reaching for it. I would rather take those shots at guard in the second round where you have 2 picks. I would probably rather go with a defensive line player here, or I would consider a Ashton Genty. Yeah, I said it. I would consider it. Hey, Ben Johnson's your new head coach, man. Maybe he's gonna love the pairing of DeAndre Swift and Ashton Genty. San Francisco 49ers, they're gonna go with Armand Membu, offensive. He's listed him specifically as an interior player out of Missouri, and that's fair. He's like 6'3", 314. He's built like a guard, but he's one of the most athletic offensive linemen in this class, in my opinion, which makes me think he could probably play tackle in the NFL. We'll see what his measurements are there at the Senior Bowl, because, hey, it's not like I just did a weigh-in video, because Senior Bowl X account was dropping the roster page with verified measurements, found out they were from springtime. So, hey, we'll get those measurements on Monday, or today, I should say. So maybe I'll pump out another video with those measurements to right the wrong that I committed yesterday. I mean, it was still a good look at, hey, this is what their verified measurements were in the spring. It's not like when it comes to hand size and arm length that's going to change too much. If anything, it's going to be weight, but we'll see. Regardless, Membu, he's going to come in and immediately probably be the Aaron Banks replacement, and maybe he can be an heir apparent to Trent Williams. Regardless, they're probably going with trench play early in the draft. Dallas Cowboys take Ashton Genty. Not a lot to talk about here. Yeah, this is like the most popular landing spot for Genty. The Miami Dolphins take Kelvin Banks Jr., tackle out of Texas. Let's read this one. Nothing is more important for the Dolphins than protecting Tua. Reach. I just don't believe they'll do it. Banks could do that at tackle or at guard. I mean, I feel like Patrick Paul's your left tackle of the future. Austin Jackson was fine down the stretch, played up to that contract we just gave him, so I felt good about that. He's probably playing guard, honestly. I don't mind us taking shots at defensive line help. I really don't. Or offensive line help, excuse me. The Indianapolis Colts are going to take Jahdae Barron, corner out of Texas. This one's kind of fun. I don't know if I like if this was still Gus Bradley. I don't mind the fit. I like the fit. But with Coach Lou now as the DC there, you're probably looking for more man coverage corners. And that's not Barron's game. He's more of this off coverage zone type. That's just who he is. I love Barron. I think more people should be talking about him. It's not like he just won the Jim Thorpe Award this past season, but I definitely think he is a scheme-specific player. Atlanta Falcons are going to take Will Johnson, who I forgot was still on the board. That's who you probably take it in with the Indianapolis pick. I mean, he was playing both zone and man coverage there under Wink Martindale this past season. Granted, he did miss some time with injury, but the Falcons, they opt not to go with edge help, and they grab a corner to play opposite of AJ Terrell. Johnson is a polarizing player around the league. He provides size and production, but some questions emerge about his tackling and top speed in 2024. I'm more concerned with, can he stay healthy? Because he had the knee injury that he played with in 2023, had surgery on it in the offseason, and then he got hampered by the shoulder injury and then the turf toe. So I just want a clean bill of health when it comes to him. Arizona Cardinals are going to take a Jalen Walker, linebacker. Okay, they're listing him as a linebacker. Okay, linebacker out of Georgia. Let's read this. Walker is a bit undersized as an edge player. Not terribly. I think he's got the length to play it. And he's going to be in that 240-pound mix, so I'm not too worried. He offers an intriguing mix of length, explosiveness, and play-making ability. I agree. I think Cardinals, you address the defensive line here and now. Here and now. That's right. We got Cincinnati Bengals. They go Walter Nolan, defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. I love this addition. This team's been missing DJ Reader. Sheldon Rankins been unable to really stay healthy. They brought in Chris Jenkins, but you know you were dealing with more of a floor player there. And that's fine. Nolan, though, he being a former 5-star, sky's kind of the limit. He took a big step up in development this year. I like the pick. The Seattle Seahawks are going to go with Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Let's go. So they get that big meaty boy there in the middle that they kind of don't really have. Jaron Reed and Jonathan Hankins are going to free agency. So you get the big meaty boy who can push the pocket because he's explosive as hell. And then Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. I see this being a very popular pick as well because Levante David, wonderful blitzer from the linebacker position. Jahad Campbell, former edge, was very productive, not only as a blitzer, but someone who can play off the edge. His length provides it does a great job of clogging passing lanes. So I could definitely see it. I still would rather probably have the edge player, but Campbell's Campbell's a hot prospect for a lot of people. The Denver Broncos, they're going to be snagging Nick Emanuwari, safety out of South Carolina. Emanuwari gave me some Derwin James vibes when I studied him. I love his instincts and his production. Me too, but they're kind of all right at safety right now, aren't they? They got Brandon Jones back there. Was it PJ Locke that was playing the other spot for the Broncos? Let's take a quick look. Who was playing that other safety spot for the Broncos? Sure, I'm gonna kick myself in the rear for not being able to get this right off the top of my head. All right, pulling it up, taking a look at snap counts. No, okay, it was PJ Locke. And then the next safety in there was Devin Key. So I guess if you're looking to upgrade Locke, who was okay this year, nothing special after coming off a pretty solid year last year. Yeah. I mean, I still think I'd rather get a pass catcher. Luther Burden's on the board. It'd be something I'd consider. Certainly. Okay, let's move on. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Matt Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. Yo, I said this in my wide receiver rankings. Start hyping him up, man. He was so golden down the stretch for the Longhorns. He literally became Ewer's top target, the number one, the alpha, the omega. I love this dude's ball skills. Word is he's going to test out really, really well. Steelers, they could definitely use more good players in that wide receiver room. Los Angeles Chargers are going to take Colston Loveland, tight end out of Michigan, get to reunite him with Jim Harbaugh. So I get it. Get a pass catcher for Justin Herbert after Will Disley just had a abysmal pass catching performance in the playoffs. Loveland can be that pass catcher. Green Bay Packers are going to go with Shamar Stewart. Edge out of Texas A&M. Listen, it says edge. He's 6'6", 290. I think he's going to be someone you're going to be playing either as like a base 4-3 end or you're going to play him pretty versatile in a 3-4, whether you can play him a little bit outside the tackle, over the top. Again, you can get real creative. I mean, he could play nose tackle on passing downs. The dude's going to test out phenomenally. And honestly, when it's all said and done, 23 might be kind of low for him. Minnesota Vikings, they go with Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. Man, he really fell down the board. Let's read this. Boy, this feels like the Lewis Scene pick all over again, right? So Starks didn't make as many plays as we were accustomed to seeing from him in 2024, but people at Georgia rave about his intangibles, work, leadership, and work ethic. He has the versatility to play over the top and to cover the slot. He does bring some versatility. I believe they do have quite a few free agents there. I think Cameron Bynum and probably Harrison Smith are free agents, so it's not out of the cards. I still think I'd rather go. Probably rather go with a corner then, if that's the case. I'm going to address secondary. That's just me. The Houston Texans are going to take Luther Burden, wide receiver out of Mizzou. They get a nice receiver who gives them really good yak ability. He had 29 forced missed tackles this past season. I still think he's like wide receiver 3 for me because I rank Travis Hunter both as a corner and as a wide receiver. But after like Hunter and Tet are off the board, I think Burden is that next guy up. I really do. And then we got the Los Angeles Rams taking Josh Connerly Jr., tackle out of Oregon. Alaric Jackson, free agent. Rob Havenstein, I think he's going to be 33 this year. So you can be looking at the tackle position, looking to give Stafford a little bit more help. We saw this team, how banged up early in the year they were on that offensive line. So grabbing offensive line depth and eventual starter, if not starter right off the bat, isn't a bad idea. Okay, what else we got? We got the Baltimore Ravens taking Azariah Thomas, corner out of Florida State. So they're double dipping here. They're getting a big, long corner in Azariah Thomas. There's going to be questions about his speed, but I think he's a relatively smooth athlete. Brandon Stevens is a free agent. Marlon Humphrey was bouncing inside and out. So I could definitely see the way here. I can definitely see the way. Josh Simmons is still on the board. That's something I wouldn't mind. Get your heir apparent for Ronnie Stanley, who is a free agent. Detroit Lions go with the Mike Green, edge out of Marshall. So apparently in the summer, Mike Green had suboptimal hand size and length. I don't see that being better when he gets measured out today at the Senior Bowl. I just don't. He's going to have suboptimal arm length. I'm just hoping that he is like 245. I'm hoping that he doesn't come in looking just straight up like a linebacker. Really don't, because I think that probably does knock him out of the first round. That would just be my opinion. But we know Detroit, they would love to get another edge there. They got one more year of Zadarius Smith. Aiden Hutchinson's coming off the broken leg. Edge is kind of key. Washington Commanders, who ate the L yesterday, are going to go with Josh Simmons, tackle out of Ohio State. This is someone who's played both right and left tackle. He played right tackle back at San Diego State. At Ohio State, he played left tackle. Was on pace to having a great year. And then unfortunately gets hurt early in the Oregon game. I think it was a torn ACL. It was a season-ending knee injury nonetheless. You could move Andrew Wiley inside with the intent on moving on from him eventually, because Samuel Cosme, late ACL tear. He's going to miss time at the beginning of the year. So I don't mind it. I don't mind it. Buffalo Bills, they're actually currently playing right now as I record this. Chiefs are up 14-10 with 3 minutes left to play in the second. Again, guys, Monday I'm going to be flying. I have no time to record. I got to do it now. And oh my gosh, what a catch by Xavier Worthy. Golly. Anywho, Buffalo Bills, they go with Derek Harmon, defensive tackle out of Oregon. Man, this dude, we knew he was a solid run defender coming into the year based on what he did over at Michigan State. This season, cleaned up the body and became just stupid disruptive. He was by far the best pass rushing defensive interior player, I would say, in college football. He had like a win rate of 17.6%, 55 pressures, 5 sacks, just utterly dominant. You get to pair that up in the middle there with Ed Oliver. I think that's a good choice. Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to go with TJ Sanders, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. Okay. So this is your Milton Williams replacement. That's just how I see it. I like Sanders quite a bit. He's 6'4", 290. He is very stout. He's a very smooth athlete, knows how to get to the passer. But again, being stout and being a good run defender, I think is what's going to get him drafted high. I think he's probably going to be a top 50, at the very least a second round pick. I don't know about first, though. I think first is a bit interesting. And then with the last pick in the NFL draft, first round, I should say. I didn't know James Pierce Jr. was still on the board. What the heck? James Pierce Jr. going to the Kansas City Chiefs. Phenomenal value. This is phenomenal value. Might be the most explosive pass rusher in the class. I thought he improved as a run defender. He's still developing his body. Let's read this one. Some people see Pierce going earlier in round 1. While there might be a debate about where he'll land in the NFL draft, there's no doubt about his elite speed and production. Amen. He had a win rate of 22.7%, which I think was 0.1 higher than Abdul Carter. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess the rich get richer. This would be a phenomenal pickup here. I don't mind it. But that's the mock draft, man. Y'all go ahead. Y'all let me know what you think of Daniel Jeremiah's first mock draft here in the comment section below. Expect Senior Bowl content to run rampant on the channel. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.